So how is everybody doing today? I thought I would come on here and visit with you a little bit. We're driving to Montreal today. We're in the Quebec side, which is pretty flat with a lot of deciduous trees, not much, and big fields, all still yellow. Snow is off. Oops. I had a few thoughts to share with you. Driving is taking a lot of my attention, and I can't really talk to you very much. You like my rose-colored glasses? Good morning, Tyler. Yes, we are heading to Montreal, to the Montreal Temple of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. We love coming here. It's so peaceful and beautiful, and seems like a reset button. These are getting to be dark. I guess we're under a big cloud. We were under blue skies, actually. Still under the blue sky, but everything ahead is dark. So I thought I would share with you some of the world news. No, it's the temple. It's not like a cathedral or a chapel. A temple has the temple is a place we go to make covenants with God. He makes covenants with us, and we make covenants with Him. And and we renew those covenants when we're baptized, when we partake of the sacrament. But coming to the temple, it's also we receive an endowment, a spiritual endowment, and it doesn't change. So whenever we go, it's the same, but it's not like a mass. It's covenant making. Anyway, we have regular church in the chapels on Sundays. That's where we go to church. The temple is something much, much different and much more special. Just like in the Jewish tradition, they have synagogues where they worship on Sundays or Saturdays, but the temple was a place that they went to make covenants. Sacrifices were performed for them, animal sacrifices, of what is now required of us in the temple. It's the same temples. It's not an animal or blood sacrifice. It is the sacrifice of a broken heart and a contrite spirit. And when we offer that sacrifice, it is what is required. It is with keeping the commandments. So there's a few things that are going on in the world which I find significant. One of them is in Israel. Now, I am not at all for the genocide of Gaza. I think that's a horrible thing to do. Just horrible. And they will pay for these sins. It's a terrible thing to do. However, in Israel, among the not the Jewish nation, but the Jewish religion, the Jewish leaders, there is a great desire to build the third temple. Now, the first temple was the Temple of Solomon that was destroyed when they were overtaken. And then there was the second temple, which was the Temple of Herod. And Herod's temple is, that was destroyed after, Jesus prophesied the destruction of that temple. And he was also talking about himself at the same time. In 3 days, or whatever, the temple would be destroyed. This guy is going to go really fast to get by me. There's a very slow truck here, full of logs, trees. Okay, we gotta go quickly. There we go. All is well. All is well. Some ironwood and some maple. There's a lot of maple in Quebec. They have a huge amount of the maple syrup production. We have a lot in Ontario, and they have a lot here. Anyway, so there is I don't remember the name of the committee, but it's about rebuilding the third temple, or building the third temple, which it's prophesied that the Jews will build a temple. And the Temple Mount at the moment has the Dome of the Rock is covered by a Muslim, is it a mosque? Is that what it's called? Anyway, so it's a big gold round thing on a base, and I guess things are done in there. So the Jews believe that it's their responsibility to build the third temple, and that the Savior, the Messiah that they've waited for forever, will come to that temple. Now, before the temple is built, there's also another tradition. 9 times there has been a sacrifice of the red heifer. And I'm not sure exactly where that is. I think it's in Numbers. But the red heifer, in order to be worthy of the sacrifice, has to have no more than 2 hairs that are not red. The presence of any 3 hairs that are not red disqualifies it. Also, if the heifer has been bred, it's disqualified. And they have tried for a long, long time to produce a heifer that has not more than 2 hairs of another color. Now, as the heifer gets older, there gets to be hairs of different colors. And so they have people that count, that have to watch over and count and make sure, because they get rid of the heifers if they have more than 2 hairs. Anyway, so they now have, I think they have 5 heifers now, which qualify. I'm not absolutely sure, but I think that was the numbers that I heard. I have not fact-checked this. I have not been there to check and count them. But, so they believe that the sacrifice, they have a place for the sacrifice to happen, and they, word is that, or rumor has it, that the red heifer will be sacrificed on Passover this year, 2024, which will hasten, I guess, or be one of the milestones in the return of the Savior, or the coming of the Messiah to them. These are interesting. I find it very interesting. Now, there are many things that have to be done. Like, right now we are in the times of the Gentiles, when the gospel is being preached to the Gentiles all over the earth. I'm not sure if there's countries that the preaching of them is not allowed. Not sure. I guess Muslims. Okay, so this is 30, 20, and 401. So I don't want that. That would be back toward Toronto. A40 East. Piaget gratuit. I guess that means free. There's a toll road along here, but it's free in the morning. And on the way home, it costs us $3. Contrast that to the road in Toronto, the 407, which is which costs $35 each way or something like that. So you go down there and you take that road to avoid rush hour, and you have to pay in both ways, $70. Maybe it's 80. I'm not sure. It's a lot of money. But you go to Montreal and there's not that fee. And there is a good road now that bypasses the city, because we don't have to actually go into downtown Montreal. We're going to Longueuil, which the temple is right across the river from it's right across the river from Expo 67. Vaudreuil-sur-le-Lac. I don't know how to pronounce things. And that one's Highway 35, but we're not doing that. I think we do 40. On our side in Ontario, it's the 417, which goes through Ottawa. The 7 becomes the 417. There was a sign, on the back of the sign was written in spray paint, black spray paint, "Hey, look here." They've started making places that gangs would put graffiti on. So I don't take 35, right? No. I stay on 40 until 15. I'm taking 40A. In this scoot-in lane. I like being in a scoot. Anyway, so let's see, what else was I going to tell you in the news? So Iceland, I don't know if you're following this or not, but Iceland has been having a bunch of volcanoes exploding. CNN just started talking about it, but it's been going on since, I think, about the beginning of autumn. There were many, many earthquakes, and there's a magma chamber under the ground, which was filling from way below, and it was pushing the ground up. There's also, Iceland is on the center of two tectonic plates, so they're pulling away. They've been pulling away forever, pulling apart. So it results in cracks, and so there's cracks and fissures all over the place now. There are, I don't know, it's getting to be quite a high number. One town had lots of this going on, and cracks through the houses and everything, and that's Grindavik. And Reykjavik is the capital. And so there were many, many earthquakes in Grindavik, and they evacuated the city. It's a coastal fishing city. Anyway, and so they evacuated them somewhere else. And then they came home for Christmas, and the eruption started. It was an eruption shortly before that. There's this lake, which is a hot lake, warm. It's hot water because of the geothermal. And in Iceland, they heat their houses by geothermal, which means that they pump hot water And so there's a pipeline, and this volcano, the lava, went across the highway and across this pipeline. Well, the latest eruption, I think we're at the 4th eruption now. The latest one, it's not so viscous, where it's like water and it just spreads out and covers the land. It's much thicker, and it's making cinder cones. So that means that it's getting to be mountainous. So I think there's 9, is it, or 6? 5 or 6 of these that are these new cones. And it's interesting that the cones are not, they're open, and the lava splashes up. I guess it's boiling. It bubbles and splashes, and it lands on these cones, and the cones get bigger. It's also landing on the inside. I was trying to figure out exactly how it grows. It's landing on the inside, which then makes it a narrower bottom, which makes it, maybe it compresses it and makes it splatter higher. Anyway, I was trying to figure out how it becomes like, but anyway, there's usually a crack in one side, or a place where it does not close in because the lava is going out. Anyway, but it's interesting, in a country where earthquakes are, there's always been, I mean, not earthquakes, where volcanoes have happened so much, where you're living on a volcanic island. But it's pretty flat. Most of it is flat. But now there's these various mountain peaks. I have learned lately that many earthquakes precede an eruption. And the earthquakes, like just lately, there were 3.5. So there are more areas under Iceland which there is becoming more lava. So these 4 different, what are they called? Eruptions. These 4 different eruptions have been mostly in the central sort of area and down further to the south. The Blue Lagoon is one of those hot lakes, and there's a power plant there, which is a geothermal power plant, I guess, pumping hot water from this geothermal lake to the people around the island. Anyway, so there was no more heat in one of these cities, in Grindavik, I think, because of the lava going over it. It's very interesting to see a lava field. When I was in Hawaii, we're driving along this road, and then we get to this place where it looks like there's been tons of debris, like rocks and soil. It's all piled up, so these huge heaps, and we were looking at it, trying to figure out, so what's going on here? Is somebody filling this area in so they can build on it? But there didn't seem to be any tracks, any truck tracks where they would be backing in with this stuff and piling it. Well, it turns out that fields of piles is actually 200,000 years old, and there has been so much it was done, it's all lava, so it's been there forever. And there's been people that have lived in there. There are areas that are divided from the main group, it's divided with piles of rocks for walls, of lava rocks, A very interesting place. It's very difficult to walk on because lava is sharp. You don't want to trip and fall. You cut your hands. Anyway, so that's about the lava stuff. I do like to watch a lot of this geology stuff. I watched it when the mountain Kilauea, Mount Kilauea in Hawaii. I watched that a few years ago when all that was going on. What else is happening in the world? BBC is such an interesting news channel. You know, they're not affected by U.S. politics. They're not owned by Rupert Murdoch, so it's not all corrupted. It's not like Fox News, and it's seeing this whole thing from a distance. Anyway, I thought it was interesting yesterday that candidate Donald Trump was selling Bibles now, $60 for an autographed Bible. Now, I don't know, that there's something about that just seems really, really wrong. You don't autograph the Bible, hand out autographed copies. I've endorsed this book. It's just kind of weird. Just very weird. Anyway, but in it he has put the Constitution. And I find it to be very odd because he has said that he would like to suspend the Constitution so he can do a few things. Well, you take an oath as president to uphold the Constitution, never to do anything against it, but to make sure that all of your actions are within the bounds of the Constitution, which means fairness and all kinds of stuff. So he's touting the wonderfulness of the Constitution, but yet in actuality, he wants to set it aside. He also wants to be a dictator on day one, which is totally against the Constitution. And he got very angry at his vice president because he would not go against the Constitution to vote in a way that was not constitutional. It's not up to him to, it's just, I don't know. But that really angered him, candidate Donald Trump. He's also been very cozy with dictators across the world. The one in Turkey and the one in Russia and the one in China and the one in North Korea. All these communist places. And yet he is putting the Constitution in there. I don't think he's read it. I know he's read books by Hitler. He's got one on his bedside table, but I don't think he's ever read the Constitution. I mean, and the Bible, I think that what I know about Trump's religion, when he was young, he was raised in the Presbyterian Church. And then Norman Vincent Peale became the minister at his church. And Norman Vincent Peale authored The Power of Positive Thinking, which is sort of the beginning of the New Age. Wow, you remember? Well, that's very cool. Sabrina says, wow, I remember when I subscribed to you, you had only 6 subscribers. I felt bad for you, that's why I subscribed. But now you're on 16,000 subscribers. Congratulations. Thank you so much. It's kind of you. This poor truck, he's inching ahead, but Everybody's going in front of him. 5 people here are all going in front. Everybody's going in front. You might as well just park there. And what was I saying now? Something very important, I'm sure. Oh yeah, the Constitution. Oh yeah, the Bible and his religion. Well, I think he did read the Bible, and he really liked it. I think that there is a lot of wisdom in the Bible, and I think he liked the wisdom in the Bible. But I think that the power of positive thinking has been a center line for him. That if you can dream it, you can do it kind of an attitude. That he doesn't consider the negatives. He just goes with, I'm going to build this building. I'm going to make a deal with this person. I'm going to, like for himself, the power of thinking positively about his own efforts, his objectives. And so he sees everything about himself in glowing colors, rose-colored glasses. I have my rose-colored sunglasses here. But so his power of positive thinking, he thinks everybody loves me. I'm great. I'm the best. I know more than anybody who has got a PhD in, everything. Every category that he happens to think about. He declares that he is the very best. He knows the most. He will do the most. But of course his record doesn't show that. He says he built this huge wall. He rebuilt 50 miles of wall. The border is like 1,500 miles long. So he rebuilt 50, but he talks about how so much. And so even his view of his past, he sees everything in terms of positive. I won. I must have won. Because if I lost, well, that's negative. I can't think of it as I lost. I won. So he's sure he won the election. And because he is so sure about it, because he has trained himself never to see himself as a loser or anything negative, never to see himself as a lawbreaker, even though he breaks laws continually. I mean, that's just who he is. If there's a law and he doesn't like it, he doesn't attend to it. If there's a bill and he doesn't feel like paying it, he doesn't pay it. And he has found through positive thinking, he's able to have not paid many workers who have worked for him, many companies who have sold him cement or other goods. He has been able to not pay them by taking them to court, or they take him to court, and he finally will settle. And so his desire to settle means that these guys might get paid something, but they're not going to get paid the amount that they want. And so in his power of positive thinking, it was the biggest amount of people ever at my rallies. And, he will have all chairs where people are not sitting in them removed so that every seat is full. Yes, I had a rally, every seat was full, even though they may have removed several thousand chairs or something. And I remember cartoons when I was little about the guy that wanted to run the world. I'm gonna take over the world. And in a way, I see that with Trump. He's very much, it wasn't enough to have the fanciest gold room in the top of Trump Tower, and to have Trump Tower, which looks very pretty, right in Manhattan. And it's not enough for him to have his name in all these places where everyone can see him. I remember hearing him speak probably 20 years ago, maybe 25. I never heard of him, but he was some big shot guy in New York who owned maybe it was Trump Tower that was being talked about. And I can remember listening to that and thinking afterwards, that guy is such a buffoon. Oh my gosh, he's a joke. This was years ago. And I wasn't a never Trumper. I just made an opinion when I listened to him that this guy is nobody I want to have anything to do with. Like a kindergartner. Anyway, so that's I'm not sure about, like he comes across when he's talking to all those evangelists, years ago, he did come across as being truthful when he said that his interest in the Bible when he was younger, and then the power of positive thinking. And so in the power of positive thinking, you don't sin. I haven't sinned. I'm making strides forward. If I make a mistake, I fix it. I be better. That's his way of thinking. So he doesn't have any need for Jesus Christ or any need for repentance because of having sinned. In his view, from his minister, who was Norman Vincent Peale, with the power of is that the right name? The power of positive thinking guy. And so in his reality, Jesus Christ is a main character in the Bible, and maybe has a few interesting teachings or good teachings in his mind, but it's not his personal savior. He has no need of salvation because in his mind, he's never sinned, because sin is a negative word and he doesn't think negative way. So, so his revenge for people that didn't vote for him, or people that said things against him, or that fact checked. Well, in his view of himself, I'm always right because that's my positive point of view. In his way of thinking, these people must all be lying because they can't be telling the truth, because I'm not. There's nothing wrong with me. I'm perfect. And I don't need to repent because that's not a thing either. This poor truck driver, I guess eventually he'll get past this merging thing and he won't have to merge every time. Allow everybody. Look at these things stick right out. You can't scoot by. Got little gates in the lane that's going away. Ile de Montreal. Anyway, so this idea of him selling Bibles, which he's not a Christian. He may like the Bible. He may think it's a great book, but it's not the one that lays on his side table. However, I love the Bible, and it's not on my side table. Sometimes it's here, sometimes it's there. Anyway, it's also very, very ironic or interesting or hypocritical that he would be thumping the Bible, saying what a great book it is, while it's a distraction. He's perfect for a distraction. It's a wonderful distraction from the fact that he is having a criminal case for election interference because of trying to cover up his affair with a porn star. It's not about whether or not he had an affair with this porn star. It's the fact that he tried to pay for it under the table. He had Michael Cohen pay, and he would pay Michael Cohen, and they would call it something else, and the shell companies and all these things. So much lies. I don't think he might have noticed the part where Satan is in charge of the people who are lying and they're working for him. Which brings me to another point. The people who follow Trump. Now, first of all, Are you thinking I shouldn't be talking, Willem?
I don't care.
You don't care. He's asleep. Okay. People follow Trump. Very good, honest, nice people who are wonderful Christians. They have made a great excuse for him that he is like a person once that was a very bad person who did good things for Israel. And so they see him as this, that it's okay if he's vile. It's okay if he acts terribly, if he says terrible things. But the thing about him that they think that he is sent by God as their savior on earth at this time, that he is going to save the United States from decadence. Never mind you about the decadence of his life. That's irrelevant to them because he stacked the Supreme Court, and he also has replaced many lawyers all through the place. Before he ever ran for office in 2016, we Googled him on Wikipedia. And at that time, I think he had 3,000 court cases. He likes court. He takes everybody to court. If he can outlast them with the money, he can take things to appeal everything up to the Supreme Court. And okay, 40 East and 20 West. No, that goes the other. We're not taking 20. 20 goes right through the main strip of downtown Montreal, and it has power lines, a whole power corridor running alongside. I don't know about being too close to those power corridors. You can take a fluorescent light and hold it up, and it'll light up under those. I mean, well, maybe it depends on what it is, but so there's electricity that's flying down from all that stuff, and I don't like driving next to it. Well, that's on Highway 20, It would be called an interstate, except we don't have states here, so it's an expressway. We have roads and expressways. So there's another thing. I'm not sure if everybody is aware of it, but in his power of positive thinking about himself, he is a narcissist, so he does focus completely on himself and his welfare. He's also quite transactional. You give me this, I'll give you this. You vote for me, I will take care of you. You vote against me, and there will be retribution, and but vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. Has nothing, we're not supposed to act out vengeance. But you see, these other guys who, in his mind, they've got it their way. All these authoritarian dictators around the world. And I don't know. It's just so. But these people that follow him, it's called a narcissistic, it starts with an M. It's like being, like contagion. What is the word? Anyway, and so his what is another word I'm looking for? But people that everybody like to follow. What is that called? Anyway, and so there's this contagion, and that people are blinded. Like if these same people who love everything about Trump, and even though they say, well, yeah, he's a bit of a bluster, you can't always listen to what he says. However, what he says is actually what he means. When he says what he's going to do and who he's going to do it to and what's going to happen. Those are his estimations. And he did, in Charlottesville, when he said that there's good people on both sides, you see, he's courting, and with his praise of the army, even though he didn't go into the army because he lied about his foot. And so he got to not go in the army. And he thinks that anybody that did go in is a sucker and not as smart as him because he was smart enough not to go. And if you got killed there, then you were a loser. Or you got taken prisoner, you were a loser. Anyway, he took money from the veterans to help the army. So what a dictator needs to do is to get an army on his side. He wants the people that fight to be on his side. So we've got the KKK and the white supremacists. Those are definitely on his side because he lets, you would kill people for me? Wow, you're my friend. Like loyalty is so big to him. And so now that the polling, I heard polling this morning where they're like 2 percentage points apart. And I think Biden might have even been ahead. Well, you can listen carefully because he's going to start talking about the corrupt election that's going to happen. This is what he did last time. As soon as he noticed, as soon as the polls came out that he wasn't going to win, he started up with, this is going to be the most corrupt election ever. Building up his base that, yes, go vote for me, but we're not going to really be able to trust the results because they're going to do this, this, and this. And by the way, and Fox News promoted it. They were on board. Yes, 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 yes. Fake, 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 fake. Or fraud, fraud, fraud. And so they promoted the people that had no basis. They were just coming up with ideas. And when these ideas were taken to the courts would look at the evidence and say, well, where's your evidence? Well, this isn't evidence. You got to show me the evidence. And that's just the way court works. And so then he would say bad things about the courts. Oh, he's coming in front of me. He was the courts and the way and who the judges were, and he knew many judges in his 3,000 cases he's already had against people or people against him because he doesn't like paying his bills. It's very interesting when you see him being adamant on something, you can almost be sure that he does that thing. Like he's adamant about back before when he was a first-time candidate, he would talk about he talked about classified documents and that they weren't being taken care of carefully enough. Later, we don't hear this one repeated very often, but he talked about classified documents after he was indicted for the classified documents that he was squirreling away and showing them to people. He said that so-and-so made $1.8 million, and he never said so-and-so made $1.8 million showing classified documents to people. He didn't say that whole thing. He said, I should be able to do this. I should, so-and-so made $1.8 million. So there's not a whole sentence there which says. Anyway, but that's what he was meaning. And so, sure enough, other things have come out, right? Like there was this rich guy from Australia who came to see Trump and who got to see some documents. I don't think he's selling the documents. I think he's selling rights to see them. Anyway. But the thing is that he was doing this classified documents case, classified documents stuff, like for a year they asked for them back and he said no, and then he said I don't have any, and then he let them come, and the same day they came to check, he also had sent a dozen of these boxes on his airplane, people that were helping put them on the airplane started talking about that. And they went over to Bedminster in New Jersey. There has not yet been a Bedminster indictment for all that went on over there. Anyway, there's many things that have not been, like he said that I have $500 million, and then he says I don't have more than $100 million. And so one was perjury. But there's been well, we haven't heard about it, which doesn't mean that there's no investigation going on about it. Anyway, those are a few of my thoughts. If he blames somebody else for it, it's probably something about himself that he does. Which, you know, I remember when he would, I've seen this play out over and over, but when he was talking about the caravan of people that was coming up to the border, this was before he was, when he was a candidate the first time, and maybe once he had been elected, and his question was so strange to me. His question was, who is funding this caravan? It had never crossed my mind that anybody would fund a caravan. And then later I saw other things that he did, which made me realize that perhaps when he said who is funding this, maybe he was funding it. Maybe he was actually getting more people in this caravan and funding it by some shell corporation, you know, something that could very hard to trace to him. But it just sounds like, you know, politically that would help him out. Got all these people, I will save us from them. It's like The Dog's a Tale. Remember that? There was a movie like that. A very interesting movie. Anyway, those are a few tidbits of mine about the news. There's another news thing. There is, I don't know how breaking news it is or anything, but by gravity, using gravity to make batteries. So it's not actually a battery, but by you use power to push this rock in the air. And so your power now is all stored up in the height of this rock, you know, and you drop this rock and all of a sudden you've got all this power comes out of it. So this is called gravity batteries, and there's a company that's making these. Reminds me of making trebuchets and catapults. Water towers, yes, right, exactly. And yet that's just, you know, for water pressure. Doesn't really save money because you had to pump it up there. It wasn't, but that's been the thing about.
It stores energy, so if there's a power outage, you'll have water for a few days in the city.
Right, yes, okay. That's an interesting point. Okay, what have we got here? 550, 117. Everything is in French now. AUT, Côte de l'Issy. AUT means autoroute or expressway. BOUL, Boule Cavendish is Cavendish Boulevard. And that goes to Quebec, which in Quebec means Quebec City. Just like Mexico, when you're in Mexico, if you're going to Mexico, that also refers to the city. In other news, South Africa has charged Israel with genocide, and I thought that the United Nations had ruled on that they had been doing genocide. There was some ruling that the U.S. vetoed that it was not genocide, but the latest one, President Biden did not veto it, which I thought was a major step forward. Killing a people, no matter who they are. Abstain? Well, that's, they didn't, oh, I see, so they didn't vote for or against. All this stuff goes on. Okay, maximum 70. 520. What's this one? 15 South, Montreal, Centerville, Pont, Champlain. So that's 1.5.
15 north.
I want north?
15 north.
Okay, not south. 15 north is this one, and the arrow of the sign
But
points.
you should be on the 31st. I don't understand this. Have you missed the 30 exit?
No.
Okay.
It is the 14, this is the one, and then the 15, and then the 30.
No, 40 and then 30, the toll road. Did you miss the toll road?
I haven't heard about a toll road yet.
Okay, hopefully the 30 is still ahead.
Are you going to be upset with me if I did it wrong?
Oh, just a little alarmed, but anyway.
Well, you were sleeping. I mean, I was driving, and I'm pretty
You
good
wanted to
driver.
drive.
I'm driving.
Steer.
It's the 40 and the 15 down there. That's south, but we're going north? 15 north? Or do you want me to not take this? I do take
no idea.
this.
Maybe you should take 15 south. I think you went the wrong way. Now you need to take 15 south. Maybe.
Well, you better make up your mind because I'm on the
15 south.
exit. 15 south. What is it I'm on?
You're on 40. I think you need to go 15 south.
Okay. And did you see where that sign is? Am I in the right lane?
No, you probably need to be in the right lane, I would imagine.
Well, I know which lane. I know that I'm not. I don't know. I don't see any signs right now. 15 north is straight ahead. 15 south? No, I can't read it. It's around the corner. I think this is a division for both of them, north and south. So Boulevard, Champlain, and Pont, whatever, or north to Quebec. What do you want me to do, Willem?
Go to the right lane.
Okay. Okay. So we're going 15 south.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Or do you want me to do 15 north? They're right
15,
here.
15 south.
Okay. I mean, how are they over there and we're here?
You go to the.
I'm trying to get ahead of this truck to get in, dear. Thank you for your
You
continued patience.
need to be where these cars are coming from, I think.
Oh, so they're all coming. So I've missed something?
I don't know.
Okay, well, they're coming into this lane.
Okay, well then you missed that too.
And the other ones are going straight. So I've done it wrong. Should I change things? I don't think it's possible to change things.
You just take an exit somewhere.
Alrighty then. Thank you for your continued patience, Willem.
Steer.
So north goes that way, and we are in this side, and there's a median beside us, and everybody on the other side of the median is going where we are supposed to go. But I'm not going to worry about it. We'll get there eventually. I didn't put on my GPS because the way we go and the way the GPS tells us are different. Should I put on the GPS?
Okay, go to 15 south.
Wait a minute, but this is straight ahead is something north. 15 north. Do you want me south or north?
Yeah, the sign now says turning to 15 south. Turn going to the left. Go, just turn off there.
You want me to go to get in the other lane?
15 south, yeah.
Oh yeah, it's what I was doing before, but now suddenly I'm not.
But the signs pointed out differently. I don't know why.
Well, this one's going north. I thought you just said you want me to go north.
I have to. I'm not sure what you can do now.
I'm in. I'm driving like a Quebecer.
I suppose.
I thought you wanted me to go north, and then you were upset I was going south, and now you want me to go south when I had the
Because
option of
if
north.
you were on the 30, you would have to go north on the 15.
I was never on the 30.
No, and you should have been.
I should have been?
Yeah, 30 is a toll road.
Well, I didn't see it yet.
Well, you're in the middle of everything. Like,
Are you trying to point out that I'm imperfect?
yeah.
And I've made a mistake.
Yeah.
I'm ready to listen to you. What would you like me to know?
Keep going.
Okay. I have made mistakes before. The only way to avoid making mistakes is just not to be me. Now, I'm in this lane, and what is this lane doing?
No, you have to not turn off for a while.
Wait a minute, that's 15 south, or is that for those guys?
Yeah, that's for the south guys to come in. Yeah. We are on 15 south.
Okay then. Here we go.
Okay, now it might be a while, but if you maybe
We'll have 5 minutes to spare. And here I thought I was doing such a famous job. Montreal, the city that I don't want to ever drive in. And here we are, driving in it. And I even did it wrong. So this is the junction with the 30, Willem.
Oh, that's interesting.
No, the 20.
20, yeah.
Okay. That's for the people that are up there, okay? It's not for me.
In 2 kilometers, keep right onto Autoroute de Carry toward Autoroute 20 Est.
They want us on 20?
Yeah, that's okay. I think you better press that button.
in the middle 2 lanes.
South and 20, Old Champlain, Toronto.
Stay in the middle 2 lanes. Use the right 2 lanes to keep right onto Autoroute des Carrés. In about 10 kilometers, take the exit onto Boulevard Marie-Victorin.
So I'm here. This is
Marie-Victorin is the road where the chapel is on, where the temple is on.
I know.
You're almost there, hopefully.
Okay. Well, I'm not almost there, but yeah, you want to get your stuff ready?
Yeah, I'm gonna get myself dressed.
Stay in the left 2 lanes.
Sur le pont d'Avignon, on y danse, sur le pont d'Avignon, on y danse. Now in 8.3 kilometers, I turn right on 15. Wellington, Montreal, and downtown.
I suppose I gotta take my feet off for a second.
Have it twisted.
Isn't that right? Right. I think it's just twisted too.
I think it's fine. I think it was on right. Just put it on when we get there. I mean, you can put it on when you step out of the car. Do you need to phone and tell them we may be a little late?
How late are they going to be?
I don't know. Can you get it on your phone and check it? Sometimes if you lay the back of your seat down flat, you can put on your coat and things without seatbelts on, Willem.
I think it's always a seatbelt. Yeah, never mind.
I thought you don't have a seatbelt on.
It's just the old film that's still in here. Should have looked this out. Okay.
Oh, no wonder. Samuel Day Champlain Bridge. Champlain discovered this area, right?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, so we've got 20 east, 15 south, and 87 to New York. 2.5 miles.
And what's that? So I'm good now. The only thing I still need is a temple bag, the red temple bag. So,
You got your shoes on?
yep.
Good job.
In 2 kilometers, take the exit onto Boulevard Marie Victorin.
You have an estimated arrival time on your cell phone?
It was 26 minutes when she told me, and it was 25 after.
Okay, so yeah, okay, we can't fail. Okay, what's it called? Come on.
Use the right 2 lanes to take the exit onto Boulevard Marie Victorin.
Where?
Good morning. Take the exit. Then keep right onto Boulevard Marie Victorin.
Okay, sorry. Yes, it's a brother's son, the sister's son.
Use the right lane. Keep right onto Boulevard Marie Victorin.
And down at 10. We might be there just very shortly before time. We are running a bit late because we took a wrong turn.
Okay. I'll let them know, but I don't know if they will wait.
Okay.
Okay, fair
But I
enough.
will let them
Keep right.
let them know. Brother and sister sons, right?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Thanks for calling.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Bye
Bye-bye.
bye. Okay.
Stay in the left 2 lanes. In 600 meters, keep left to merge onto Autoroute 20S toward Montreal.
I love having a GPS. I should have had it on all the time, but it doesn't let you select the roads you want.
Use the left lane. To keep left to merge onto Autoroute 20S toward Montreal.
They might have to feed you this way too.
172 for gas here.
Keep left.
Yes, indeed. All right, we're going to be done with this